we as a citizen ambassadors, I think it's a privilege because you and me, we are part of the same family that is called humanity. So that's why we need to achieve these Millennium Development Goals. And for future generations, for our generations, we need to achieve this.
When a child doesn't get a vaccine that costs less than $1 and then that child dies, that's upsetting to me because there's no reason that every child in the world doesn't deserve a vaccine that costs less than $1.
We need to do more for achieving the Millennium Development Goals, not until for 2015, but today, starting today, and so we have a great responsibility in this regard.
One of the main criticisms of the Millennium Development Goals is that there is no onus, there's no penalty for not reaching the goals. And so I think the penalty is the more people who are aware of the Millennium Development Goals, the more the general public will care, and then the onus is there for their leaders, the people that make policy, to ensure that we reach those goals. So I think the UN is very smart to use such an array of people so that, you know, anyone can be spoken to potentially, whether it's by Stevie Wonder or Princess Haya or the Secretary General.
Almost every other issue, especially as highlighted in the Millennium Development Goals, is hinged on education, because a lot of people are ignorant. Health issues are tied to ignorance, especially in Africa. I mean, simple malaria kills more than HIV in Africa, and just cleaning, knowing what to do, keeping your environment clean, and knowing how to deal with malaria, with mosquitoes, would solve a lot of problems, for instance. So ignorance is at the base of what is hurting our world, really.
Number one issue, I think, for me is environment. Good environment, because all problems which people experience based on this problem, especially a nuclear energy problem, and you know, I'm very concerned about this.
To what you can do and what we all can do.
It was to achieve it by 2015, and we are seen as being necessary. I'm not yet sure. I may be there, but in case.
I'm really concerned with what developed countries can do to help, particularly ordinary people in developed countries, putting pressure on governments to in turn commit to making MDG development goals a high priority, as opposed to national interests and specific economic requests of the actual people themselves. We have to look outside our governments and our countries to the world around us and look at the group as a humanity rather than a collection of individuals.
Thank you. So thank you very much, Secretary General, for taking your busy time for us. Those are the 6 winners.
It was very great meeting Mr. Ban Ki-moon personally and talk with him. And, he gave us space to told him his ideas, and also to tell him about our films.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Play up, Mike.
My name is Ban Ki-moon, Secretary General of the United Nations. I speak to world leaders all the time. Now it's your turn. I want to know what you think.
It's time for a change at the UN. Stop being blinded by our differences and open your eyes to the sameness in everyone. Stand as one and take on the fight against poverty with both hands. You have the frameworks. It's time to use them. The world has waited long enough. My name is Connor Parker, and I don't see differences. I see change.
¿Y yo qué pienso sobre los objetivos de desarrollo del milenio?
Wow, vaya, qué buena pregunta. Bueno, pienso que son las próximas metas que se deben de cumplir en este próximo año 2015.
Que son la razón de ser de esta gran familia a la que pertenezco, llamada humanidad.
Que si no lo logramos cumplir, continuarán afectándonos a todos nosotros.
Simplemente porque son los objetivos que la humanidad necesita para un mundo mucho más justo, más tolerante y más seguro.
Estamos dispuestos a actuar hoy.
أعزائي قادة العالم، ملايين من البشر يعيشون ظروفا قاسية يوميا. كثير منهم يعيش بلا غذاء، دواء، منزل أو تعليم. فصحن من الأرز ومدرسة قريبة ومشفى يعالج أمراضهم هو حلم للكثير منهم. لذلك لنقم بتحقيق هذه الأحلام، لنقم بمساعدة بعضنا مهما اختلفت ثقافاتنا، دولنا، ألواننا، فنحن إنسان في نهاية المطاف، وقد نحتاج بعضنا في يوم من الأيام. أنا منصور البدران وأنا أؤمن بالأمم المتحدة.
Hi, I'm Olga from Russia. Here I would like to show you my basic view on how the international community can better work together to achieve the Millennium Development Goals. Take my bike and ride around. It's difficult to see different social deviations, huge female unemployment, but I always remember there are places on the planet where women still haven't tried to work. End of the day, I sit with my laptop in this small Russian village, read the latest world news, and see once again how many different people with different everyday challenges live around me.
Ten years ago, measles killed nearly 500,000 children per year, but with a decade of work, a global partnership of organizations has cut the deaths in Africa by 92%. Sound good? It is. Except now their funding has been cut by more than 75% since 2007. International headlines show a scary trend emerging. Since June 2009, more than 30 African countries have experienced measles outbreaks. Experts are forecasting a resurgence that could erase a decade of work. So fixing that became my goal, to raise awareness, to make my community a model of measles fundraising, so that other people, other communities would be inspired and join us. I asked for help from my family, from my friends and my classmates. We formed a nonprofit, put on bake sales at my college. My classmates made posters and flyers. They baked cupcakes and wrote articles for the student newspaper. We talked to other schools and found a class of 4th graders to work with. I may not have millions of dollars, but I do have 26 cents. And so does my girlfriend, so do my friends, so do my roommates, so do people all around me, every day. And so this is what our community is doing to reduce deaths under 5. 26 cents at a time.
The Millennium Development Goal, especially the Goal 2, in education, universal basic education, is extremely important to me because primary education is the foundation of every educational system. We need committed leaders. We don't necessarily need different leaders. We need you to make up your mind that change would happen. We're waiting on you, world leaders. Make a difference.